Welcome back to the Cruxman.
No
I'm your
one could have
host.
said it better.
Or co-host, you mean? I'm Saul.
Hold on, time out. Hold on, time out.
All right,
I see
never mind.
how we go already. We're just taking credit for shit. That's fine.
I said co-host. I said that.
That's not what the tape would say.
I am your host. He is also the host. We are co-hosts. That's what I meant.
Listen. Just because you're the host, I do things.
Absolutely, shit.
I do things. You know what I'm about to do? Here's what I'm about to do. I'm going to give a quick shout out. Look, okay. Just because I think it's becoming a fun thing on our show here, maybe it's
non-paid sponsors.
Yep. It's also becoming fun for me just to tell all of our non-listeners exactly where I'm at in the world. I'm in San Antonio, Texas right now.
Oh. That place is considered to have the best barbecue in the country?
What?
Yeah. That's what they say, and I don't understand it, but that's a link that I got. I'll send it to you.
Well, I just got told I'm staying here an extra day, and actually what that means is that tomorrow, randomly enough, I have nothing to do. So I'm going to go hit up some barbecue then.
Shit, yeah. I mean, granted, no one gave me like a list of said barbecue places, but that's what they say.
You know what? If it's supposed to be the best, then all of them should be on par.
I mean, we'll see. You let me know.
I will let you know. Moving to my shameless plug of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Straight out of Alabama.
I looked at that today, and I was going to buy it today, and I did not. Instead, I went with this. The classic monkey shoulder.
You can't go wrong with monkey shoulder. Although, even though they call themselves monkey shoulder, they've gotten a bit big in their britches. You know, you used to get monkey shoulder, a .75 for $20. They've upped their prices. Or no, what is it? Or was it a 1.75?
It's 35.
A 1.75 for 1.75 for $20. Yeah, and now it's 35, 40. What is that? It's 1.75, right?
Yeah.
Used to get those for $20, and I was like, this is not bad because it's a Scotch.
Yes, it is. It's very good.
And
very smooth.
I believe monkey shoulder. I think it's a 10-year. Although I don't know that they advertise it.
Oh, about to say, I don't know. It's a batch 27, whatever the hell I mean.
So either way, they started making more money. They upped their price. Although, you know what? Honestly, with today's inflation, I don't blame them.
Why wouldn't they? You know what I'm saying? If the demand calls for it, do what you got to do.
That's it.
I'm not going to knock business. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
As long as the quality doesn't suffer, I'm not going to knock business.
Now, back to my Clyde Mays here. I've had this before. Actually, backing up one more time. I'm in San Antonio, and I thought I was only going to be here for a day. And so I did the responsible thing, right? I did the responsible thing. I went to the store, and instead of getting a bottle, knowing I would have to travel with it, although I didn't really think that one through either. Doesn't matter. So I went and I got these little guys.
Oh, look at that, twins.
Yeah. Went and got these little guys from the store. A little Clyde Mays bourbon whiskeys here, 92 proofs. So,
okay.
Recipe number 2. I don't know what number 1 is, but maybe number 2 is the improved version.
It's about as clear as mud. You know what those numbers mean as much as I know what batch 27 means.
Right? Yeah. And they say it's Alabama bourbon, but apparently it was distilled in Cocoa Beach, Florida. We've been there before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cocoa Beach.
Anyway, whoever. Yeah.
You're in Texas. I'm in Alabama.
Oh, you're in Alabama. You're in Alabama drinking scotch. I'm in Texas drinking Alabama bourbon.
Yeah. I said I was going to go buy that one, but I did not.
Man, you know what?
Only because I was like, I'm trying to stick to, the classic. I was either going to do this or some Japanese, which is a Harazuki, something like that. I'm going to try something new, but I'll do that next time.
Look, I don't want to show you up, but I'm going to class up this joint with a mustache cup.
Oh, well, shit.
Because I don't have anything else.
You must be in a similar place as myself because I got lips.
Tonight's episode brought to you by different parts of the face.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not the Sesame Street you grew up with. Well, cheers, my man.
Yeah, well, Kampai, I'm not drinking right now. Bloop. Yeah.
I am. Yeah. I'm drinking Kampai for two. Indeed.
I thought about it,
and you.
But I think I'm going to have to chill today.
That's okay.
I'm going to have to wake up super early tomorrow. But yeah, man, so yeah, how's things?
Things are busy, man. I'm pretty sure at this point in this particular year, 2023, last week of February, last day of February is actually when we're recording this. If anyone wants to timestamp it, I think people would probably have an opinion of that guy's on crack. He's on crack right now. Like, that's probably what people think when they meet me. Like, he's all fucking hopped up constantly. And I think what it is, honestly, is that my body, with as busy as I've been this year, I'm in fight or flight, but I don't do the flight thing. My body just fights. I'm just like, no, we got to keep fucking going, right? No sleep till Brooklyn. And I have no desire when I'm ever going to get to Brooklyn, but no sleep till then, as the Beastie Boys said.
Or so sleeping dead.
Yeah. So there's a lot that's new, and then there's a lot that's the same. But it's just constant, man. I've been home intermittently for like a day or two a week, and that's about it this entire year. So it's been constant from one city to the next, working on all the different projects that I'm a part of, and people probably still think that I'm being very cryptic about that. And that's just because, they'll find out what we do for a living in our personal lives soon enough. Until then, just listen to the content and try to get a kick out of it because we think we're smart.
Yeah, man.
What about you, man? So, so you're in Alabama.
Yeah.
I know you're out there for a very specific
working. I'm in class.
Yeah, class
for a month,
educating yourself, learning new getting things. Smarter.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all that, man. Shit, it's like that's why I'm taking a break. I've been doing a lot of after hours entertainment, if you will. Having a good time. It hasn't been like crazy. I don't do the clubs and all that, but it's just been hanging out with classmates and forging friendships and whatnot, the networking thing, all that good stuff. So it's been nice, actually. It's been quite pleasant. I found out people have a similar passion for, cigars and whiskey. So we've been kind of hanging out for a little fire pit.
And you're what?
And every day it's like nonstop entertainment. Like right across the street, this other hotel, there's like live music, and these old folks be basically doing like this karaoke. Like every single night, and they start dancing, and I just sit back and I just watch just the chaos ensue of these very, very. They're not middle aged. These are older ladies getting borderline naked in this little patio area of the hotel, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, just waiting to see how far is she gonna go. I was like, just don't get me pulled into it, too. I don't want to have no.
All
I'm
thinking right now is I need to come save you from Alabama.
It's so live, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't think she's a local either. It's like I said, it's at a hotel, but I don't know. It's like a mix because the thing is, it's right there on the street. So folks are just they hear the music and they just want to walk up. And some of the nights it's like really good acts. Like, I think they're these local folks. They go up there, they got their guitar, they're doing their thing, really bluesy kind of sound. Then this one guy went up there with his laptop. I'm talking sound like straight karaoke. And then there was this other guy up there, had a big raspy voice, bluesy. I mean, it was just every day it's something different. Today they had some guys up there with some banjos jamming. I'm talking like jamming. So, and one of the waitresses, she's like, "Yeah, we have entertainment every night."
That's awesome.
Like, well, I guess I'll be seeing you every night.
Every night. Yeah.
If I don't have, if I can get my work done and all that shit, I'll be down here.
I love that.
So tomorrow, like one of our classmates, we've had one birthday last week. We got another one tomorrow. and we're going to celebrate his birthday. So we were trying to get together today and knock out all the schoolwork or whatever, which I barely got anything done. But what the game plan tomorrow is to not even acknowledge the fact that it's his birthday. Even if he brings it up like, hey, you guys want to get together or whatever? We're like, what's it? What? Huh? What are you talking about? Yeah, whatever. Like, we're going to completely ignore him all day long, like by design, and just get him real butthurt. And then we're going to go take him out.
Sounds like something you fuckers would do to me, man. And I'm going to tell you what, as a victim of that previous prank, not appreciated. All right. Because as much as I try to have a tough exterior and be like, yo, I don't care. I don't even care. You know,
does it matter with a tear coming down your eye? Yeah.
I'll be fine. I don't even care about stupid brothers. It's just another day of the year. It's just stupid. They're stupid.
And that's so funny because like if people were to ignore me on my birthday, I wouldn't care. I'm like, you know what? Thank God I could just stay home, do my thing.
You know what I enjoy about our relationship? I enjoy just how nervous you get, because if I was to ignore you on your birthday, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, he's planning something bigger than he's ever planned before, and it's going to be. I would be
very disturbed. I'd be very disturbed. I would not appreciate it in the least bit.
Whatever he has planned, it's not going to be comfortable at all.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this: if indeed you got quiet or you started acting abnormal, if my phone rang and you told me to be somewhere, I will ignore said text. I will ignore said phone call until the following day.
Oh, you would? I know you better than that.
I'd be like,
you would ignore the text, but by your own admittance, you will answer the phone call. Like, fuck,
because I wouldn't know what is it about. You know, that's the only reason why I pick up the phone 9 times out of 10 because it could be an emergency.
Let's be clear. Yes, that's exactly where I was going to go with this. Let's be clear.
Which sucks. It's like homeless folks using their kindness for weakness. That's what sucks.
Do not think for a second I would not say that my youngest is in the hospital to get you to show up somewhere.
Yeah, and that's beyond fucked up.
And you would,
and I would hope you would crack. So you start to like,
you would
so I could be like, no.
You would show up at the hospital, and I would abduct you in a fucking ambulance to take you where you had to go. I would use my little 4-year-old as a pawn in my plan to get you.
I'm trying to tell you, say I won't call ahead and ask the nurses, do you have this little individual there in yours? Oh, we don't know. We don't. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I'm going to call him. Lenice, I need your most critical, cancerous patient under the age of 10, because I need to pull at my boy's heartstrings right now. Look, I get it. No, Lenice, I know it's fucked up. But it's his birthday. Okay, it's his birthday.
Yeah, we're gonna give him a heart attack. That's fine. That's cool.
I'm trying to give you another patient here, Lenice. I'm looking out for your livelihood.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't. I mean, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. There's so many options out here in this town, but
you're in Montgomery. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah, Montgomery.
So there's a pretty cool aviation bar. That's what they call themselves that I've been
Aviator
to.
Bar.
Aviator.
Yeah.
So it's still out there.
Oh, it's still there.
Very good.
Absolutely. It put me in the hurt locker last Friday. And I didn't even close the place down. Not everybody has that level of tolerance that I have for being out. You know. So
you have a good tolerance for being out. What do you mean?
Well, I know. That's why me going to bed when the lights are still on, it was kind of weird. I was like, I went to sleep early.
Oh. Is that because everyone else was falling back or what?
Yeah, they checked out. I was like, that's understood. Which is good for me because I was like, I get to go to bed.
I feel like I may have done that to you recently at some random town in California.
Possibly. Oh,
when it like, look, and I was like, I'll admit this for everyone to see. When it like 9 o'clock,
yeah, I was like, you guys really want to go back? I'm just getting revved up. Like,
oh man, when Papa's down, okay, like just let the old man go to bed.
Yeah, man.
That was a fun day, though. That was a fun day.
Indeed.
All right.
Indeed.
To the girth of the conversation. You ready? at
Girth.
2-1, 15 minutes and hack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to know because I just recently had an experience. You know what? I'm going to back up even further. For anyone who can actually follow my particular train of thought when I bounce around in different conversations in my head, good for you.
Luck.
You're doing great. Yeah, because I know that 50% of my conversation with my man Salt here is him putting the pieces together as I try to create this what I think is art. I'm painting a picture, but man, do you have to you got to stay focused. It's like a good movie, right? It's like a thriller, you got
Inception.
you got to stay attentive up in here, right? There's if I catch you sleeping, you're gonna have to start all over from the very beginning.
Fuck.
So there I was, 1983. No,
dude,
yeah, really.
It was a good year.
It was my first experience with a woman,
or perceived woman.
You know what? That's, okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. That could have got dark real fast. All right.
I forgot you said 83. That's the reason why.
It just clicked.
Yeah, I was like, wait, you said 83?
83.
And at first I was like, yeah, it was a good year. But then I was like, when I would have got with a woman, I was like,
pretty sure you had your first experience with a woman that year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You old dirty dog. Man, just groping all over the place. Didn't even know what you were feeling.
Man.
But there was feelings.
Holy smokes.
I think Theo Vaughn would have a lot to say in this particular conversation.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
All right.
So back to the girth.
Back to the girth. Here we go. Girth Brooks is what they used to call me. Anyway. So first, let's go with like first aid options. Okay. I want to have a conversation.
I thought you said first aid. You said first date.
First date. Gotcha. First date. I want to have a conversation about dates, and I mean full spectrum from first dates to you've been in a relationship for a while. Like, what keeps the spark alive? Let's start with you. What is your? You know what? I'm going to ask questions. That's how this is going to be an interview. Your favorite first date you've ever had? Go.
Oh, I've ever had. First date I've ever had.
Favorite first date? What's the one thing that stands out with you? Like, even if the relationship didn't work out or whatever, which it probably didn't. But
well, I'm gonna say like this: at this point now, for me, when it comes to dating, my first date is very simple. My dad's wife, she told me something that was outstanding about a decade ago. And because I met this girl, I'm freshly divorced and trying to sort my life out. And I'm thinking I'm in my 20s when I'm not, playing an old type of, I had an old strategy that didn't apply in my later years, And so I took this girl out, we went to dinner, took her out for some pot. I think I took her to Olive Garden, some shit like that. But then my dad's wife was like, oh, how was your date yesterday? I was like, oh, it was cool. She ate a salad. She was acting like she couldn't eat, things that frustrate me. Like, eat your fucking food, right? But, listen, we're going to go eat. Don't play no games with me. Don't be like extra proper,
But it's unlimited.
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah. Goddamn, I'm grubbing. And she's always like, oh, I just had a salad. But then she didn't even eat the salad. So I was like, whatever. But anyway, so I'm telling her this, and, and I spent, as I typically tend to do, like, I expect to spend money going out. I'm not going to have her pay. But then my dad's wife, she's like, you need to stop doing that. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do then? This is what, I'm taking her on a date. We go have dinner. That's like what you do. She's like, don't do that. She's like, how many times do you expect to actually go out with her again? I was like, I don't know. We'll see. She's like, you know what you need to do? Coffee. That's it. Don't be taking them out on those lavish dates and like that. Save your money because not all of them are worth it. And it just ruined it for the following females. But at the same time, it made so much sense because I was like, you know what? I'm taking these girls out. And some of them are, and the thing about it, I got homegirls that even, they told me this after the fact, like well after I started like, you know, adopting this new mindset. Like I got homegirls who are like, yeah, I'm just in it for the meal. They give two shits about the dude. They're just in it for the meal. Now, granted, I wasn't on the date. She actually like, we were feeling each other. This one, she wasn't in it for the meal. You know what I mean? We continued to talk for a while, even as friends, you know, because we knew it wasn't going to work out. But, since then though, I've only taken women out for like a cup of coffee, or we just go hang out, maybe go get some ice cream, or what I like to do. Okay, here in terms of like my favorite first date.
Yes,
this one in particular girl. Yeah, this one particular girl. She was actually quite outstanding. I was like, yeah, let's get together. There's like a little coffee shop that I always wanted to check out. Let's go do that. She's like, okay, cool. So we get there, like get her a coffee. You know, we start chatting. The conversation was just fluid. Like we got there around like noon. Next thing you know, he was like at like 11 or something like that, noon. Before I knew it, before she knew it even, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're like, oh shit. Like, and I think, and this is how I know the combo was good because like no one's looking at phones. No one's doing anything like that. We're just engaged and just laughing, but the time is just flowing. Right. And then before I know, it's like, yo, like I'm hungry. I was like, yo, you hungry? She was like, yeah. I was like, well, you want to go? Let's go find some food somewhere, because I didn't really know the area like that. So we get up, we find it. We found this little ramen spot. Then we go have ramen. Now we're sitting there, we're eating ramen, digging in. That's our lunch. Time keeps going, tick, 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 tick. We're drinking sake. Then we go to the next place. I'm like, well, shit, man, like, what do you got? What you got next? She was like, I got nothing to do the rest of the day. Ultimately, I found out she had things to do, but she just was having such a good time. She didn't want it to end. And I was like in the same boat.
That's great.
And so I was like, hey, well, I mean, you want to go have dinner? She was like, yeah. So we went to the next spot. And in that one date, we had multiple dates. We got to know each other throughout the day.
How fun is that?
And then, you know,
yeah.
And then we ended it with a nice little, hey, I'll catch you later. Kind of like, you know, because for me, I'm not going to press it because I'm just like, you know, it's not really like my style at the gate to just go for the gusto. Mm-hmm. Usually like the second time we meet, if I still kind of feel on some level, then, you know, we could maybe go to the other things. But it had me like on a high. I like women like that kept me like on a high where I'm like, damn, like there's just so much about it that I want to know. And the thing about it, I like you minus all the physical. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm digging you. So like that to me. And so I've had only like maybe a couple other experiences that were similar to that, where it was just like it flowed. You know, so I would say like that was like my best date because it just kept going. And if I'm in a situation where I'm in a woman where we meet just to kind of break the ice, if you will,
sure,
you know, just kind of get to know each other. But then like it just kind of rolls through the day. Like, well, shit, like we both don't want it to end. That to me is like the perfect first date.
Well, so
you know, where it's like I've seen you in various settings. Like it's almost like we've done it on different days, but it's the same long ass day.
Well, and I'll tell, you know, anybody who cares to listen to, like dating is not necessarily easy, right? I mean, unless you're just like a pathological dater, I guess, you know what I mean? Like if I think
dating is very easy. I don't.
I'll tell you why.
A lot of people don't think it is. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me tell you why. Now, in all of my limited experience,
absolutely.
I will tell you that. I will tell you. Yeah. There was one, and then there was my wife. She knows better. Either way, doesn't matter. Point is, when I was dating, with the exception of my wife, for several years, I got into a very similar pattern of like, if I'm going to go out on a date with you, I'm going to meet you at like, you know, a Coffee Bean or Starbucks or whatever. We're going to meet up for coffee. We're going to meet up for coffee for the exact same thing that you just said. If we can have a conversation, then I know that this is good, you know. After coffee, you know, the other thing I would ask girls, you know, to do is like, hey, when I was living in LA, I'd say, hey, there's this really cool hike in this place called Runyon Canyon, which you and I have hiked before. Not on a date for all you fucking weirdos out there. I mean, maybe it was. Whatever. We'll see what happens.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's totally fine. He didn't call me back, but whatever. But Runyon Canyon. And I would be like, hey, now we're getting exercise because I like girls who are fit, and take care of themselves. And it's just, there's nothing else up there, so your cell phones are in your pocket or they're left in the car, whatever. So now you're having a conversation, it's like, hey, let's go for a hike in Runyon Canyon. If you can get through that, and it's like, you have some chemistry, I suppose, then it's like, well, all right, maybe we move it up a notch or whatever. So, but somewhere else I want to go with this. So best first date, that's pretty great. Like your response, that was pretty awesome. Like your best first date was just somebody who you had an unexpected day with when you meant to just meet up for coffee. Like that's the best. I've gone out and spent hundreds of dollars, which some people are like, yeah, that's just the norm. It shouldn't be the fucking norm. I shouldn't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on somebody just to get them to go out on a date with me. Agreed. Because we could dial this back to the more primitive aspect of it and think of it as an exchange. And basically what I'm paying for is sex.
Vagina. Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, that's all it is at the end of the day anyway, right? You buy a dinner and expecting something. But that's or not, if you get her a drink and expect something.
Right. But
it's all an exchange.
Now we're older and wiser. And that's not the conversation I'm trying to have right now. I'm trying to figure out what makes the best date. So from first date, something like what you just said, that was incredible, to now maybe you've been in a relationship for a while. And here's the thing. This past weekend, my wife and I had a night together. This one, with my chaotic schedule. And randomly enough, she was away on a work trip as well. And we just happened to be in the same town on the same night. And there was a bunch of other people around though too that we know. And so she naturally is thinking like, okay, his social butterfly is going to come out and he's going to want to go do things. And she called me and she's like, hey, I just want to set expectations right now. I don't want to do anything. I was like, okay. What do you mean? She's like, well, I don't want to go out. She goes, I just want to spend time with you. And I'm like, you know what? Deal, right? Because I love my wife and I love being around her. So everybody who was like, hey, let's go in this place and that place, whatever else. I'm like, got to fall back tonight, fellas.
Airplane mode.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. So you know what I did? I went to the store and I bought a ton of snacks. I called you and talked to you about it. And you're like, dude, fucking snacks. Get fucking snacks. Go spend the night in a hotel room. So I got snacks. I got 2 bottles of wine. I pre-ordered dinner. So when she was done with her meetings, I picked her up. We picked up dinner that I was pre-ordered on the way back. I had bags. Dude, I spent like $200 on snacks and wine.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I wanted to get all the options. Just so that she wasn't like, oh, I really wish I had red vines. Got them.
Yeah. Let me stop you there. Wow.
Bag number 2. Yeah. Oh, I really wish we had some, caramel popcorn.
Ta-da!
Yep. What about, Ghirardelli salted dark chocolate?
Yes. Dude, you thought of everything.
I just bought it all. A smorgasbord of snacks. And I mean, from the chocolates, from the sweets to the salties to, dinner, all of it. And the wines, I got a Malbec, which was fantastic, and a cab to chase it, because why would you ever chase a cab with a Malbec? That doesn't make sense.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. Watched one of the fucking dumbest rom-coms, but she wanted to watch it.
Which one?
I don't want to throw my boy under the bus.
Well,
but I will. That new fucking Your Place or Mine with Ashton Kutcher and Reese
Kutcher. I haven't seen that
Witherspoon.
one yet.
Oh my God. Like the premise
It was
when it
pretty
was
bad.
over, I was like, all right. But
It sounds like The Holiday. It reminded me of The Holiday. That's why I didn't watch it.
We're 30 minutes into this thing, and I'm half a bottle of wine deep already because I'm trying desperately to get into this fucking movie. Like, maybe if I get liquored up, it'll be funny. It's supposed to be a rom-com, half romance, half comedy, but the comedy wasn't there, and neither was the romance. It was just like
the commas commit suicide. That's what
it was just a confusing back and forth split screen conversation between the two. I was like, I don't fucking get it.
That's the entire flick.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were going to actually link up at some point.
Well, spoiler alert. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm not going to do it.
I intend to watch it.
I did.
The thing is, this is like my guilty pleasure. I like rom-coms, and I enjoy watching them by my goddamn self. There's something about them. It puts me in because usually they're really easy to watch. I don't have to think too much. It's very chill. But it also, maybe this is like the 0.01% of me that's like romantic, I guess you could say. It stimulates that part of me.
And just point out the fact that everything you just said says that the 0.01% of you that likes to be romantic by himself.
100%. Solo dolo. I don't need people seeing that. Oh, look at Salt being all giggly. Oh my God, they got together.
Yay.
Yeah. Go Reese. Shit.
He's so good looking.
Shit, man. No, it's like a weird thing. Like one of my favorite movies of all time. And granted, it used to be a secret, but I guess now it's gonna be broadcast across the globe. You Got Mail, man. It's just an all around good flick to me. I think it's just a good movie. And Dave Chappelle's in it. This is back before people got really, really into him. It's a great movie. Ever since it came out, maybe it's because it was new. Because it's like You've Got Mail, and they're going back and forth with the messenger and all that. And I used to really be into like that back in the day. And then it's in my favorite city of all time. And then on top of that, you got Tom Hanks in it. And like I like the fact that they have no idea who the other person is. They just know their little handles. Oh. But yet they're battling in real life. Like they hate each other's guts in real life. But they're like in love on the computer. I don't know, something about that whole. And then they finally meet at the very end. You're like, oh shit, like that worked out. I don't know.
You know what? There's a lot.
The thing is, like, life's just not like that, but it happens to people, though.
I was going to say, I actually think it is kind of like that. I think that the reality is like, well, that just goes to show the
reality now.
Well, it goes to show the front that people put up, when they're trying to impress somebody. When there's no name or face involved, you're like, oh, I want to impress this person, but you can go look at, your colleague and be like, fuck off. That's a horrible idea. Like, why would it not be the opposite? Like, why wouldn't you want to impress the people who can benefit you the most versus the person who can potentially satisfy you for 15 to 30 minutes?
Because it's just a game, man.
I know it's a game.
I mean, for instance, unfortunately, it's just a game. Because the thing about there's a lot of good dudes that cannot capture the attention of a woman they like just because of the fact that they're going too hard out the gate.
I've seen that.
Just like the whole like, do I text her now or later? And women play the same game. Like, should I text her now or later? People want the person who ignores them almost. Well, and if you go too much, you show your affection too early. And if it's not really 100% like wanted, you'll find yourself getting ghosted ASAP.
It's hard to get into that mentality though, man. Like I remember when it happened to me because I was that guy. I was totally that guy. In my early 20s and stuff like that, like I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't understand how to control this I was just like, like it felt like I'm, a decent looking guy and I'm asking out a pretty good looking girl. And I think I have a lot to offer, but in my mind, I'm thinking like, like all these things that she should appreciate me. But the thing is, here's the honest truth. All these things that I think she should appreciate, she doesn't fucking know. I know it, but she doesn't know it. So,
Closed mouths don't get fed.
You got to figure out how to play the game to get to the point where you can share that information. But even then, you got to be careful, man. Like,
you gotta be subtle, man.
You got to be careful.
Direct sometimes.
Well, I mean, and people take advantage of you once they know your weaknesses too. They use it against 100%. You. But I don't want to digress into that. I want to keep it on the dating, because the dating thing is fun for me. So, question number dos. Or deux, if you're French. Deux, trois, quatre, cinq. I speak a couple languages. Barely.
Okay. I thought that was okay. Duh.
Duh.
I thought that was German or something.
No. Duh.
All right.
Duh. Yeah.
I have no idea.
All right. Take my word for it. Here we go.
Okay.
What is the most outlandish first date you've ever put on? What's the most
outlandish?
Yeah. I have one that might. I
would say I don't do outlandish. That's just not my style. Period. Dot.
You've never met some chick.
Like, what do you mean, like outlandish? Like, where it's like I go all out and I'm breaking the bank type deal, or I'm like acting very unnatural.
Option A. Where
when I broke the bank.
Let's assume maybe it's some girl that I'm trying to jog your memory is all I'm doing right now. So maybe it's some chick that you're like, I've wanted to go out with her forever. I'm going to show up. Maybe you dress to the nines. Maybe you got fancy reservations. Maybe you took her somewhere. Like, what is the craziest first date experience you've put on or been a part of?
So this is where, like, it for me, it doesn't. I never did that ever, because the thing about it, like, I wasn't a relationship type of dude, a date type of guy before I got with my kid's mother. And when I took her out, it was just a simple movie.
You got her pregnant. You got her pregnant, and then you moved on.
Yeah, sure, the rest is history. But yeah, like I didn't even see myself even going that route with her. At that time, I was just like, I don't care about relationships. I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm gonna be a wild, free man forever. I didn't see what happened to me happening to me. You know what I mean? And then, but when it did, though, once again, we went out. It was simple. I like to keep things simple. I don't think in that extravagant type. You know what I mean? My thing, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't give a shit about impressing you. Let's just be clear, right? That's just not my style.
It's never, my thing is more it's never been your style?
No.
Okay.
I mean, shit, my lifestyle in general, it matches my personality. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I'm not out. First and foremost, I'm not the one who wants attention. So why would I want to shine in that way? I do things because it serves me, it makes me happy. I dress the way that I dress because I feel comfortable like that. Not because I'm trying to impress motherfuckers. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when it comes to like the women, I want them I tell them out the gate, you're going to see what I am out the gate. This is who I am. Now, granted, the things that I do, if I do something extravagant, I know that you're going to appreciate it. It's hard for me to go there in my mind if I don't know what you really like or don't like. So for me, the very simple thing is out the gate, hey, what kind of movies do you like? Want to go catch this new flick? Or do you want to go get some food? Or do you want to go, or we do the coffee thing, whatever out the gate. As I get to know you, now I can start raising the stakes. So I've taken women, right? Actually, I just did this not too long ago. I took her out. We had a hell of a day, right? But I knew what she was into, right? I'm talking a complete day. Out the gate, did something she never did before. Took her indoor skydiving. Holy shit. And I'm dropping coin, right? From there, we did an escape room. She hadn't done that before. So I'm like, I was on stretch her a little bit. Oh, we did actually.
Good.
Yeah, we got out of it. A little bit teamwork. You know what I mean?
Those are fun.
And then after that, went to hit some restaurants that I thought she might like. And then I did something that she would like to do. We went salsa dancing after that. But the whole thing was more so geared toward her. I know what she's into. I think that she would enjoy this experience. So I gave her that. And so I pushed those types of limits. I'm not going to do that out the gate. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, if you don't like that, then what do I give a shit? You know what I'm saying? Go find the dude that's going to go do that. I like the low key chicks. I mean, the thing is, like I said, I will grab the moon for you if I could, if indeed I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But if and especially at this point in the game, shit. Listen, just because you're a female and you're attracted doesn't mean that you get to just hang with me and my squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know who's with me and who's not with me. You know what I'm saying? So these women, they come and go.
I'm still waiting to get into that inner circle.
Yeah.
One of these days.
uh, yeah, listen, I'm done with the games. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know. So anyway, to answer your question, like, no, I have never like broke the bank like that. I have never. Now, granted, I have felt a lot for a female out the gate, and when it didn't work, I was like, fuck, I was, a little crushed, but not. But I never overextended myself in that
So
way.
I totally did. I 100% did. But you know what? I had a very good friend of mine, very long time ago, and he was a friend and a mentor. And he told me, he goes, Joe, you care way too much about what people think. He goes, especially women. He goes, you thrive off of people's approval. He goes, and because you thrive off of people's approval, from whatever that may stem from my childhood or something, I don't know. But he's like, you thrive off approval. My wife would probably tell you that I still thrive off approval. Like, I will work myself to the bone to prove myself to someone else. Here's where things start to change, though. As you get older, hopefully you mature and you start to understand how the world works. And if you work that hard, and all you know is working that hard, and it's not met with appreciation, additional income, whatever it may be. Like, if what you're working for is like a pat on the back, which is never what I was working for, and there's different forms of approval, right? For me, my form of approval is if someone comes up and is like, hey, you're doing a great job, I'm like, I don't fucking care. That's not the approval I want. I want you to recognize me in the form that this dude is worth so much to this organization. We need to promote him. We need to pay him more. And I don't want it to be my fucking idea. Right? That's when you know you're worth things to a company, to an organization, whatever. Like, when they are coming to you going, we like you so much, we're going to move you into this next realm, this next come up. And it's not your idea. It's not something you had to fight for. It was just, right? That's my idea of appreciation. So when I get that, I'm like, cool, now I know I'm on the right path. When I don't get that, I tend to waver and find other forms, whatever. So not really sure how I got off on that.
Well, I mean, you're talking about extravagant date.
Yes, there is. So working really hard for something doesn't mean it's going to pay off. So paying a ton of money, approval is where I was going with that. Like, I focus too much on approval. So when I was young, like, if a girl, if I saw some, cute chick in a bar or something like that, and I'm like, hey, she's really cute, he'd be like, well, go fucking talk to her. And I'm like, nah, what if she shoots me down? Like, I had that kind of thing. He's like, well, if she shoots you down, and this is something I couldn't wrap my head around before. Of course, I eventually did, but it took a while. Right? He's like, if you don't ask her out, you're still going home by yourself. If you do ask her out, it's kind of that whole, like, at least now you know. And the thing is until you know, you don't know. So maybe you go say, hey, you want to meet up for coffee, or hey, it's 1:50 in the morning and the bars are closing. You want to go home with me? Because we're both still here, kind of situation. Yeah. Like, he goes, 100%. You'd be surprised how often that it works. So
I would say more often than not.
Well, if you're
depending on the zone,
if you're a 6'4" black guy, I suppose so. But we're not all 6'4" black guys. I'm only a 6'2" black guy. Right?
I wish I met these gentlemen. I really do.
Yeah. Okay.
So what was the extravagant date though?
So the extravagant date, ironically enough, was actually my. Technically, my first date with my now wife. Okay. And I'll tell the story because I'm married to the woman that I had the date with, versus telling other stories that she would probably not appreciate me telling. So,
indeed.
But I will tell you, the most extravagant date I've ever done. In fact, the most effort I've ever put into a relationship is the one I'm in with my wife. And that makes sense. It should make sense for anyone who's listening. So, okay, here's how this went. I met up with my now wife because she and I, random story, 10 years prior had met in passing. Then we kind of we reconnected through social media, but didn't really fully realize that we knew each other until we got together and we chatted. So we met up at this random bar and started chatting, realized like, holy shit, oh my God, yes, 10 years ago. Yes, I remember that. Okay, yeah, we met. Okay, cool. And so it was supposed to be just kind of like a meetup to like, kind of catch up, I guess, like it's been, 10 years type of thing. Well, about 2.5 hours later, I'm sitting at a bar staring into this woman's eyes thinking, I'm in love with you. I'm totally fucking in love with you. And I seem like a fucking psycho right now because you think we're just meeting up to have a beer and catch up on life and what's been going on. And all I can think about is how fucking pretty our babies are going to be. So I call her up the next night and I didn't ask her out on a date. I just said, hey, what are you doing? I'm getting to the date part. I said, hey, what are you doing tonight? She goes, hey, I'm supposed to hang out with my mom tonight. I said, let me take you and your mom out. Because, Bravo Delta Echo. Mm-hmm. And she said, yes. And I was like, all right. So I took her and her mom out, and her mom. And we had a great fucking time. At the end of the night, we said our goodbyes and whatnot. We went our separate ways. And I think it was like 2 days after that, I was like, I need to ask this girl out. Like, this is enough. Like, I legitimately was like in love with this chick. So I called her and didn't realize I was on speakerphone. I was like, hey. She's like, hey. I was like, I want to take you out. She's like, okay. I was like, but here's the thing. You are living in a different state than me right now. So, the logistics are a little complicated, but I have a resolve, right? Because I think
solution oriented.
Yeah, solution oriented, but it's very specific to me. so I was like, hey, I'm going on. I just fucking said it. I was like, I'm going on a cruise with my family in 2 weeks. Your ticket's paid for if you want to join me. It's a cruise. It's a week long to the Caribbean. We do it every year. And after that, I'm going to, ride back to Alabama with my family and go see my extended family for, about 5 days. And then I'm coming back. So it's about a 2-week vacation that I already have planned. I told her, I'm like, look, tickets are on me if you care to join. And I could tell by her silence that she was like, all right, this guy just went from pretty cool to fucking creepy. And then her mom, because I was on speakerphone in the background, goes, just do it. And she did.
Like, all right.
And she did. And so I bought her a ticket to Florida. She met us. I think we've sailed out of Cape Canaveral or something like that. And yeah, man, like just the most incredible. That was technically our first date, was that cruise, and then back up to Alabama. And it sounds psychotic even as I'm saying it, but you know what, man? Like we had a connection that I think was undeniable, and you've known us for the 10 years we've been together now, and I think it's still alive. So that is my most expensive, hands down, most outlandish first date I've ever done, was taking a girl on a cruise.
I mean, I would say the only thing about that is that it's a dice roll. Like, granted, because
it could have gone
I say dice roll because
wrong.
It could have, where you're just like, yo, you just want to throw overboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone's gonna drown. Like, hey, are these shark infested waters? Bow, and just push your ass over. You know what I mean? Like, it could have gone either way, but it worked out.
What happened to your girlfriend? I don't know. I haven't seen her.
I'm fairly certain I came aboard alone. You must have me mixed up with someone else.
Last I seen her, she was in the casino.
See, like that, and this is hence the reason why I don't go hard out the gate. Like, it's gonna take a little bit. And like I said, I'm older now, man. Like, listen, I'm not in a rush to jump into nothing either. You know, like I would love that. I would love that to be in a situation where, you know, I guess that that 0.01% of me kind of like starts growing to be a little bit more, but nah, I'm good.
Well, look, Salt, I'm sure everyone's gonna, the comments eventually are gonna blow up. They're gonna be like, we think the white guy's got a crush on the black guy. My point is that I'll watch a rom-com with you, or you're welcome to come watch it with me and my wife anytime you need to tap into that 0.01%. Okay? And if
or I could just do it solo like I've been doing.
You could. I was going somewhere with that because I was trying to be selfish. Get you to come visit. I was to say, or if you need to watch a Disney flick, you could watch it with the girls.
Man. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's...
You know what? If you watch rom-coms
cool.
and cry, I think you should just fucking do it.
I don't be crying. Let's just be clear.
I don't fucking believe you. I don't believe you at all.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. There's times I'm like, was it Shutter Island? I watched Shutter Island. I was in the theater too. At the very end, when DiCaprio finds his girls floating in that water, man, I was like, oh. I was talking like all this watered up, and I was like, suck them bad boys dry. Like, this is not falling in public. Absolutely not. Shut it down, my boy. Shut it down. I was doing, woo. Listen, that's a heavy scene.
I have found myself getting, I'm putting this out public now. I have found myself getting more emotional the older I get. Dude, because everything, like, I'll watch something like, it doesn't fucking matter. I've been watching that Ted Lasso show. Have you seen that?
Oh, that's a good show.
There's a couple of moments in there, man, where he starts, and maybe it's just they're really good acting. But have you seen season 2?
I have not. No.
Okay,
no, I just saw season.
I'll just say this much: in season 2, they have a sports therapist on staff. And he ends up speaking to said sports therapist. And eventually he ends up releasing kind of why he is the way he is.
The way that he is.
And it caught me so fucking off guard that I was like, who? Like, knock it off. Be a man. But it was like, I don't know. And again, I don't know if it's the acting or what, but I was just like, God.
I think it's a combination of things, man. You know what? Because I find myself doing the same. Like, I'm like, yo, like I don't know if it's because of my daughter or what, but I think it's just the fact that, we understand a lot deeper. I think we can connect to some of the content and what's being said, like the truth of what they're saying, kind of thing. Like even like a song will have me like zoning out sometimes. Not because I'm crying because of a song. However, like it just puts me in a certain place where it just puts me in this deep thought. It's like, damn, man, like that, it just kind of hits you someplace, So I think it's just the older we get, the more experiences we have. It just kind of, it starts creating these chinks in our armor, man.
Well, how many times do you listen to a song, and it could be a new song? It really could. But I mean, everybody knows that, like, we have our songs from, like, because we're 80s babies. We have songs from the 90s and the 2000s that, like, take us to a place in time. It's like, oh, man, I remember this from that, whatever. We've talked about it on the show before. Yeah. But then there's new songs. I'll tell you, that song, the Lady Gaga, Hold My Hand, that closes out the most recent Top Gun Maverick movie. Yeah. There's some lines in that song. That's, honestly, I don't know why, and you know me, I'm a big music buff. Probably, I'm going to go straight up and throw it top 10 best songs I've ever heard. I vibed that song so hard, and you know what got me? You know what got me this last week? My one day home this last week. I picked up my daughter, my oldest, from school, and she goes, "Daddy, will you play Hold My Hand by Lady Gaga?" I was like, yeah. She goes, "Can you give me the phone so I can read the lyrics?" I'm like, sure. And she starts singing it. And I'm driving from her school to the daycare to pick up my youngest, and I'm just in fucking tears. And I've heard this song many times because I love the movie. I really do. I love that. Dude, Maverick is easily top 3 best movies I've ever seen. I love that movie. It's just incredible. But having my 8-year-old belting it at the top of her lungs in the back, it brought on so many feelings for me that I was just like, fuck. And I've got tears coming out of my eyes. And she's singing, and I can't turn around and look at her. She's going to be like, why are you crying, you giant vagina? Like, suck it up, Dad. It's just a song, like. She wouldn't. She's too sweet to do that. But like, man, like songs shows, movies, like things, they just take me to a different place now than they ever used to. And I attribute it all to having these little people in our lives. I mean, because it makes you think, well, if you're a halfway decent human, you start to think beyond yourself. And you think you have those tough conversations, What if I wasn't here tomorrow? What's the influence I'm leaving on these little people, Or you hear the fucking horror stories, which is even worse. What if they weren't here tomorrow? Not to end this episode on a very solemn, melancholy note, but I mean, it's fucking, that's what gets me now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think we just have a lot more experiences, a lot more appreciation for things, a lot more understanding. There's a depth of understanding.
Shit, so man. We've both been through a lot of shit, man. I mean, eventually our listeners will know what we've done, but
I mean, and the thing is, I'd rather keep it, hopefully, like a mystery. But yeah, I mean, it's I think it's just that. I mean, like when you listen to, me when I was a kid, listening to what my dad listened to, the Stylistics and Delphonics and Smokey and Luther and all that, I didn't understand what them dudes were saying when they were singing them love songs. It's like, I mean, some of them sounded I just liked the way it sounded, but I couldn't feel it. I didn't understand it, like to the depths, like where my dad understood where it was coming from when he was singing these songs. Now I hear these songs when I'm older, and I'm like, sheesh, man, them boys are talking some truth, man. Lord have mercy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that's different.
The best,
we grow up and
that's what they used to speak, though. They used to speak the truth. They spoke what they knew, but it was like, I don't know. It was just different. It was just different.
So I mean, in the grand, so you said there was like a spectrum of these dates. You at the beginning, and then your most extravagant. Was that it?
So
those two.
Well, I mean, the full spectrum, meaning. I mean, I don't want to go through every date you've ever been on, but yeah, like from
all aspects
from from the most very basic, like best, like okay, all right. So you're right. Let's get back to that. I'll ask this because you already said you were like, okay, your best date was unexpected, right? You're not the extravagant type, so maybe you've never gone there. I have. We both prefer, to start it out casual with coffee, or like I said, a hike or something that costs virtually nothing, right? Under $10.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't matter how much money I spend, that will not determine whether or not you and I get along. And if it does, then I already know we won't get along, right? Because I don't need to have to feel the pressure of constantly spending money on you for you to appreciate me. At that point, you're just a fucking leech. You're just using me for money. So
pretty much.
I'll ask this last question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll try to word it in a way that's going to invoke you to tell me a story, which is going to make you uncomfortable. So let's see if I can do that. Let's say you've gone to coffee with a girl, okay? Mm-hmm. And you're excited. You had a great conversation. Okay. Let's say you guys ended up being at the coffee shop for 2 hours. Not too much, not too little, but enough to know that, okay, we had a coffee. The conversation lasted longer than just the coffee. And then we parted ways. We said, nice to meet you. Let's do this again. If this woman called you the next day, because I don't play the fucking time thing. I don't fucking care. Like, oh, I got to wait 3 days. Like, fuck all that.
Neither do I. If I like you, I like
Right.
you. If I smash the first night and I like you, I like you.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So let's say she calls you the next day or that afternoon, evening, whatever. And she goes, hey, I really like you, but I would like to try something that is the antithesis of what the common, dating world understands, which is where the man pays for everything and da-da-da-da. She goes, I want to take you out.
Okay.
What would she do that would thoroughly impress you?
To take me out?
All she knows is a 2-hour coffee conversation. What could she do that would impress you on a first date or a second date, whatever?
Just show up.
That's the saddest thing you could have possibly said.
I mean, like, yo, for me, I don't. That'd be impressive to me. Because there's like, I'm not one to be like wooed.
I want to know.
Not in that way. Like,
I want people to know. Like, how would you, if you could be wooed?
I'm not that type of guy.
How would she woo you? This is a PG show, Salt. This is a PG show, okay? Like, keep it.
No, there's really nothing. I'm trying to tell you, there's nothing that someone can do other than just. I don't really. I'm gonna say it like this. I feel uncomfortable when people do anything like that. Buy stuff for me.
Well, it's not.
I don't need that. We can go half on a day. But if she's like, I want to take you out. Like, that's cool. But I'm gonna tell you like this. Okay, if it's in the beginning like that, if it's early like that, it doesn't impress me by being in you. Take me into your world. What are you into? Show me that.
So what if she was like, hey, I got 2 tickets for the Vomit Comet?
The Vomit Comet?
Yeah. The Zero Gravity.
Is that
the Zero Gravity 747, whatever that the NASA
that'd be cool.
Astronauts train on.
That'd be fun, especially if we're both in there making fools of ourselves and just passing out and barf.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Okay, let me word it differently.
What would I be like impressed? I'd be like, oh,
what would catch you by surprise? Where you'd be like, holy shit! Like, this chick, either like she really got you, or she understands you, or she just fucking like shocked you. Like, has a chick ever?
What would catch you by surprise?
Yes.
Well, what would catch you by surprise is if.
And don't say if she
let's
fucking
just say,
showed
and I didn't.
up.
And,
okay, you already said that. You can't say that again.
No. What would catch me very much by surprise if she was doing her, being who she is, whatever, right? And she was just kind of like, hey, like, so, I don't know if you think this is weird or whatever, but there's this place I like to go to. It's a cigar lounge. I like to go in there. I actually particularly like to smoke a cigar and do this. I would be like that's crazy. I'm into that too. Let's go.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That would surprise me. Or if she did something and I was just kind of like, oh, well, that's actually what I care to do too. Like, but out of nowhere, like, I didn't really say nothing about it. I don't tell people like, yeah, I smoke cigars all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if she did that but once again, I'm getting into like what she does, right? So like, for instance, here's something that kind of surprised me. It was a date, I guess you could say, this girl I met at a wedding. We got together and we linked up one day up in LA, and we went, we had breakfast, and I was like in no rush to get back home. And I thought that's, we just kind of hung out for the day. And so she was like, hey, like, there's this great art store around the corner. Like, you want to, I need to go pick some things up. You mind if we stop by there? Yeah, sure. And so like, I don't know anything about that world, that artist world.
Right.
So we're walking up and down the aisles and she's looking at the different kinds of paint and all that shit. I'm like, yo, like, so you paint? She's like, yeah, like, it's like for her, it was like, it's a way it's a stress relief. That was like her way of, that's her outlet, And I thought that was awesome. I'd never met anyone like that who was like picking up paints. And then we went back to her place and she showed me like some of her artwork. And I thought that was really cool. So for me, like, you'll impress me by just doing you. Because the thing about it, I don't know shit about you. But if you take me, and the thing is, the more different you are, the more impressed I am. Because I don't need a carbon copy of what I do. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer someone to be like who's very much into their own world, whatever that is. And then I get a chance to no longer be who I am. I can now experiment and go and run around and in your passions or whatever the case might be. You know, I know I can be very like tight when it comes to like, you know, kind of like I live a kind of almost like a Spartan like lifestyle where it's like rough. Everything's just like rough. I wake up early, I go to the gym, I just work and I do this. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing light about it. I think that's that 0.01 though, like where I enjoy like sitting down and like watching like a rom-com and just chilling, because that's like the opposite of what I do every day of my damn life.
So does it
kind of like nice and soft.
Does it drive you crazy when people talk during a movie?
Oh, fuck yeah. Shut the fuck up. Like, so I have this thing with my daughter. I told this to my kid early when she was like a little person. I was like, hey, listen, Anabe, when the movie is on, I need you to be quiet. And so like what she would like to do, the movie's on, she'd tap me. Hey, Dad. I pause. Yes. How come that? Like, hey, listen, I don't know. I can't ask. I can't answer that question because first and foremost, I'm trying to listen to the movie, right? And if you're talking to me, how can I listen to the movie? Which you should be doing as well. So this is why we have to be quiet. So I told her, I was like, yo, this is like this thing. Like I never wanted to tell her to shut up. I never wanted to say that. So I was like, hey, I need you to be quiet. But then as she got older, I was like, I would kind of like just mess with the word. Like, I need you to just shut that up. Like, just shut up. You know what I mean? That's what I need you to do. Just shut up. You know Italian all of a sudden. Shut that up. Yeah, just shut that up. So like, so she even knew. Like,
meanwhile,
she
thinks you're just having a fucking mental breakdown. You're like, shut up.
Because I just didn't want to be like, yo, shut up. You know, I didn't want to be like that. So I had to like kind of play with it. So she's like, ha, ha, ha. But like, even like now, I'm fake.
You.
It used to drive me crazy because and things, it's not like and she's like a little person. She didn't know any better. But like, it'd be like, she'd be like, hey, Dad. I knew, I could see her getting, and things, she would sit there, I would answer her question. And we're watching like whatever movie, you know, some Disney flick, whatever, or even something that was borderline serious. And I was like really like into the flick, and I could see her like she'd sit, and then I see those little feet start moving. I saw her kind of doing like this, and then all I could feel is like her shoulders start, and she already knows, like, you know what, I know, and everything I just said out the window, right? And then next, you know, I could see her kind of like inching up. And then the hand. And the thing is, and so she would do this and I would ignore her. And she'd just tap me. Dad. And I was like, Anabe. And she, Dad. And the thing is, I knew she had wanted nothing. She just wanted to ask me some bogus question. And I was like, oh my God. Yes, little one. What would you like? And she'd tell me her question. I was like, well, because of this. Oh, okay. Not even 2 minutes later, I was like, this is my life. I was like, am I ever going to get out of this? You know, and but she was so little. I was like, you know, it was cute, but it was frustrating because for me, I'm like, let's get this done. You know, let's get it done the first time and move on with our lives. But that just wasn't something I could do.
You gotta love the honesty in it though, man. Like little Harley should be like, Daddy, man. Daddy. Yes. I dropped a popcorn. Not the popcorn, a popcorn. Yeah. I dropped a popcorn on the ground. Well, pick it up, sweetheart, before the dogs eat it. It's okay if they eat it. Why are you telling me? Like, why do I care? Like, she just wants to talk, man. She just wants to talk, you know?
Exactly. And you know what? Those are the things that I miss the most. It's just that little stuff. When my mom would wake me up in the morning when I'm exhausted, talking about, I'm hungry, I need breakfast. And I'd be like, I need to teach you how to pour a bowl of cereal. Like instantly, I started being like, as soon as you get tall enough, you're gonna push this chair right here. I mean, I already had it in my plan. Like, I need to find more ways to have me time with this child. But you know, but those are the things that I think about all the time. even when she drives me crazy, even to this day, you know. So, but yeah, man, I you know, when it comes to all the dating stuff, I think, you know, something you said earlier. You said dating is hard. I don't think so. I think dating is extremely easy.
I think
Mainly,
I'm not saying it's not easy. I'm saying
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not hard either.
People
But
overthink it.
I think that's the problem.
It gets overthought, and it becomes about dating. Is people think it's about impressing the other person? It's actually not about impressing them at all. It's just about being you. And guess what? If you meet the right fucking person, you being you will impress them.
Pretty much, case closed. That's it. I mean, yeah. I mean, definitely don't be like deep clean and not clean. You know what I mean? There's this kid that we call Deep Clean, where he doesn't take complete showers on a daily basis.
Fucking gross.
Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
Gross.
Be better.
Is this that kid we met?
Be better.
That kid we met when we were camping that time?
Good old Deep Clean.
Fucking gross.
A Friday Deep Clean.
Borderline think he does that for a fact. But if that's actually true, that's gross.
I think that's absolutely true. But I don't think people don't play with that.
But I met his girlfriend one time too, and I was like, why are you?
I met her as well.
Are you dating him? Why? Now we could go into that. It's not our business, but we could. And
I mean, you know, it's yeah. You know what's so great too is like, you know, I'm trying to think this. I got friends of mine, homegirls of mine, who hate dating. I think dating is awesome. I think dating is it's just a fun thing to do. You get to meet people, and you're kind of out there figuring out. Basically, you're narrowing down what it is that you truly want in a person.
Sure.
You know, especially if you don't know, then the dates suck because you're not even any closer to what you want just because you don't know what the fuck you want. However, for me, like I'm dating women that, and I, you know, have dated women that they are more of what I like, but then the next one becomes a little bit more of what I like. And then it becomes like this more of like a mixing, matching of personalities. Like, well, damn, like this, she's awesome, but then this one's awesome in a different way. I wish I can just mash them together and make like this super awesome person, but that's just not the case. But I think if you have fun with it, that's what makes dating fun, because
of course,
if you actually are enjoying the people that you're going out with, you can have a good time. You get to learn new people.
I would even subject, though,
it could be never ending.
Back to what we just said, though. Like, if you're going out and dating, the best way to enjoy a date is to just be you. Because if you're being you, it's going to be real obvious whether it's
if it works or not.
Exactly. And if it's
Absolutely.
not, you know what the best thing to do if it's not working is to look at her. No, maybe not. And I will tell you, because I did this. I did this once upon a time. I told a girl, I said, hey, this isn't going well. She's like, it's not. I was like, okay. So let's just agree that this isn't going well. And let's just enjoy ourselves however we want. Like, if this date is to continue. And turns out we had a better time once we realized that we weren't compatible than when we were trying to be compatible. And nothing came of it. You know, it wasn't like anything like sexual or anything like that. It wasn't that. It was just once we both got on a level playing field, when we were honest with each other, like, hey, this is not like, this isn't going to work. Right. It's like, understood. Well, fuck, now it doesn't matter. Right now it doesn't matter. Everything's out the fucking window. It's like, all right, you don't care what you say. I don't care what I say. Now we're just having an honest conversation because we know when dinner's over, we're going to part ways. But I don't think we did, actually. I think we went out for drinks and we just fucking...
Because you had a good time together.
We just had a good time. But the tension wasn't there because we knew that, right? You know?
Yeah. No, I think that is definitely the key, though. That is the key. I think if you go in with no expectation, and granted, like, listen, I get it. This is easier said than done. I'm not going to sit there and say this is easy. However, if she's gorgeous and all this other good stuff, don't get caught up in the beauty. Don't get caught up in the glam. See her for what she is. Treat her like, dare I say, your little sister. You're like a sibling. You know what I'm saying? Like a good friend of yours that you can say whatever you got to say and not sugarcoat to the point where you can be yourself.
Treat her like your best friend's little sister.
Yeah, maybe not like yours.
Yeah, because that was getting. Well, I mean, weird.
So like, no. So I'm gonna say like this. This is what kind of got me over.
I just ran through that in my brain. Okay, it got very fucking dark. All right, like it's just fucking weird.
Because this is what I used to do back. Because I was, super painfully shy. I mean, I wasn't the type to impress. I was just kind of more so like, fuck. If I stay like this, I'm never gonna get nowhere. So. My thing was just that, okay, like I need to stop overthinking it. Just be normal, which I didn't know what that was. So I was like, okay, who do I have normal conversations with that are females, And I was like, well, like my sister, we talk. And I was like, well, how do I talk to my sister? I was like, all I do is like, I talk a lot of shit. So that's what I used to do. Now, granted, and when I say talking shit, it was just more so like, if I see something, I would like acknowledge it. I'm not going to sit there and just be like, I'll be like, hey, so like if we talked, it was like that banter would go back and forth where we would kind of, I could just kind of say what I say without being an asshole, of course, but I could just be just me, I guess. It was more relaxed because I wasn't worried about saying the wrong thing. I wasn't worried about, doing whatever. It was just more so like, I just want to have fun. And if you can't have fun, then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of detached myself from that whole expectation of I'm trying to take you home. And so like once I kind of like, which is like hence like the reason why maybe I am the way that I am. I just don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because if this doesn't work here, kind of like what you're talking about, like if this doesn't work, then I'll just go someplace else. Like I got all kinds of options out here in this world. You're not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? So you just because you're cute doesn't mean that there's not a billion other cute females out there that I can potentially go have fun with. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like the whole night activities type of deal. Just go have and enjoy myself with other people's company.
That should be the goal.
So
that should be the goal. Just to go out,
man. So I don't know
if everyone when they went out on a date and they're you said earlier about expectations. I mean, if you went out if every date you went out on you had zero expectation, one, you would never be let down. But two, I think you'd find yourself having more fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like dudes go out trying to smash. Chicks want to get married. They want to find like their next husband, whatever. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes are just out it for like today, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, but that
so you got people coming in with different deals.
It bleeds through so obviously when dudes just like when a dude takes you out and his whole goal is he just wants to fuck you. Like you reek of it. And it's not a desperation thing. It's just like,
but that's the same thing. That's the same thing with thirsty females, though. You can kind of tell the way she's acting, or not. You know what I'm saying? When and so some dudes are just kind of like, no,
yeah,
or very these type dudes that they see the thirst, take advantage of it, and then drop her like a bad habit. Just because she's willing to do whatever to get to where she needs to be, thinking that if she doesn't, depending on how she can
afford to quench her thirst, then you know what? Fuck it.
I mean, afford it as what? Buying her a cup of coffee?
No. Well, maybe. If you look, we've talked about this before. I'll say it right now. I'll say it right now again. We're not all created equal, Salt. Not everybody can take a girl out for coffee and end up smashing her, especially if she's thirsty.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
Hold on, where's my microphone at?
You didn't have to. I didn't say that. Listen, that's not my style at all. I would never take advantage of a situation like that. That's just not me.
But I know people who do, and I think it's
that,
that's or having that
exactly where you were going. Once again, I think that's just what I think that's what ruins it. I think it ruins it because you really don't know their motives.
No.
And if people were just straight up, which I think the dating app thing is cool, which I've done, I did that, but I'm just not a fan of it. I think it's very impersonal. I think all this technology, granted, maybe because I just come from a different time, I prefer to meet, because thinking people, you can meet people faster. Yeah, yes. The odds are fast that you can basically date from your couch in terms of finding people that you find to be attractive via picture. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know anything about them. You could text and all that, but people are finding connections via text. For me, I don't do that. I don't operate like that. I need to meet you, actually see you, be around you, interact with you. And now the text makes sense to me. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to if I've never met you, never heard your voice, nothing like that. It's just words. I don't know what your voice sounds like, nothing like that. So it's hard to connect that text message to that, you know? So I prefer to meet someone in the world because I think the odds are still the same. I mean, if you go outside your door and you go to many a place, I think you will be. I think it's just more of a better time. I think it's just a better time.
It's a better time, but the odds are not the same. And I'll tell you why. Because all these people who you meet out in the world, I would be willing to bet 90+% of them are on dating apps and they're out on dates that they met. You know what I mean? Like online. So it's not like people don't go out to bars or bookstores or coffee places or whatever. Like people don't go out to meet people anymore. They meet them online and then they go out, you know? So,
but it's those that do though. That's where you win. So I think that's where, like, I think some of these awkward dating situations come in, these scenarios, just because if you're so used to meeting and talking via text, you don't know how to have a conversation in real life. And I think that's the cementing right there. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, for instance, like, you know, you being the social type that you are, if you bump into any of these chicks that, or, you know, yeah, obviously just chicks, if you meet any of these chicks who are on one of these online dates or whatever, right? You pop in there and then you just be you. If she sees that or is around that, this guy's probably going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Because not to say, I think a lot of people are very socially awkward. They can't hold a conversation. Hence the reason why when a woman tells me, oh my God, it's been like 4 hours and I haven't looked at my phone. That should not be, I take that as a compliment, but that shouldn't be like a thing where you can't have a conversation and go back and forth and someone you and the other person stimulate each other for an extended period.
I'm going to gloss over the extreme compliment you just gave me and say that I agree with you. that I agree, but I only because you put it so eloquently that I understand exactly. You're absolutely right. I mean, you know, unfortunately, what that does is that leaves that guy who thought he was out with a girl for the evening without a girl for the evening, because not everyone is you and me.
Papa, yeah. I mean, it's the thing about it, though is what he should be doing.
People
right?
watch this right
if that
now.
Happens to
this fucking dude with a mustache thinks he's got fucking game. Listen, I'm a happily married man. Don't catch me in the streets, baby.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that is what they. If anything, if this was happening to me, I'd be devastated. If that was happening to me, I'd be devastated, right? However, what I would be doing is trying to figure out what the hell just happened. What the hell just happened to me? How is it that this guy just showed up doing what he's doing, and yet she was drawn to that and then walked away with the guy that was like that, very charismatic and all that.
Let me answer that for everybody right now. You already know the answer. Because I don't care.
Yeah. Well, what they say in a 40-year-old virgin, don't put the pussy on a pedestal.
Don't do it. I don't care. I don't care. And it's gotten worse since I've been married. I really don't fucking care, you know?
And that's what makes it extremely dangerous and potent, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, imagine that. Similar-ish, but like not hemmed up with hardware. And that's the world that I live in.
I'm so happy you said it because I was gonna say it. I don't think nothing can top that. I'm ending it right here. Nothing can top that.
Oh shit!
Bow
so yeah,
to the
man.
sensei. I love you, man. Look, man. Dating 101, okay? I think people just got 20 years of knowledge if they actually listened. That's how you
just get through the first 20 minutes of it.
I think the first 20 was fantastic.
Oh man,
just
good
like
stuff.
most of these dates I have ever gone on. The first 20 minutes are great. Anyway,
shit. Ended in spectacular fashion.
Well,
yeah, man.
see you in the morning.
Kampai. Tomorrow I'll crack this open.
Moustache.
Yes, indeed.
All right, brother.
Yeah, kiss the monkeys.
Oh shit.
All right.
Sexual.
All right, man.
Later.
Later. Peace.